So in our today class, we will take the help of BufferedReader class to take the input. And if you remember our last class, so in our last class we use the help of scanner class and how in our last class we understand that to take input from system we have two options in Java. One is the help of scanner class, another with the help of BufferedReader class. So last day we learned the concept of scanner class where it is part of basically util package. Today we will learn BufferedReader class where it is part of IO package. Now BufferedReader class basically take or read input from keyboard as well as from existing file. In our last class we learned this type of syntax where we create a scanner class instance to take the input from system. So this is basically scanner class instance SC and we take the input from system, so that's why we use system.in, that is nothing but our input stream. So in our last class we use the single step in order to take input using the help of BufferedReader class from keyboard or existing file. We have to perform two different steps. First we have to take the help of input stream reader if we are reading the data from keyboard, or if we are trying to reading the data from existing file, then we have to take the help of file reader. So all the data or input from keyboard or file system will be buffer first, and then using BufferedReader class we can access the data from this buffer. So today we will learn how to take input from keyboard and later we will learn how to take input from file. Okay, so today our aim to take input from keyboard. So let's take an example where we will perform these two steps, how to take input using the help of BufferedReader. So if you check this example, we are trying to collect name, age, roll number and this type of questions in boolean format from user, and then finally we will try to print them. Okay, so if you check this format, the first one name, this we will expect a string format value, then age a float value, then roll number as an int value, and finally these questions come as a boolean format, that is true and false type of value. So first you have to open your Eclipse IDE. So I have already opened it, and if you check our last few example, so you can see I was used different type of package for different type of class. Okay, so last day for scanner class I was used com.demo.io package, right? So same package I will use here to create a BufferedReader demo example. So we already learned how to create a Java class, right? So right click on this package, then new, then class, then write the class name, let's say BufferedReader demo, and finally you have to check this public static void main, then finish. So my BufferedReader demo class is ready and that is currently available under the com.demo.io package. Now let me remove this comment section, this is not required, then save it, Ctrl S, then double click here so that you can get a wider view. Now what is our aim? Our aim is to take input from user name, age, roll number and questions which basically take true and false value, right? So in our today class we will take the help of BufferedReader class to take the input. And if you remember our last class, so in our last class we use the help of scanner class, and how that syntax was, so we first create a scanner class instance, scanner, then instance name SC, then new scanner, and from where we take the input from system. So that's why you use system.in, this type of input stream, right? So this is a single step which was used in our last class where taking input using the help of scanner class. Now to take the input using the help of BufferedReader class we have to perform two step instead of this type of single step. So let me first comment step 1 and then step 2. So if you remember this slide, so first we have to take the help of input stream reader. So in Eclipse, first we have to create an instance of input stream reader class, right? So write input stream reader, then IR, then equal to new input stream reader, then first bracket open and close, then make a semicolon. Now if you check here, so still I am getting some compilation error. So if you click here, so it is asking me to import input stream reader. So double click here, so it will automatically import the exact package. So that is basically java.io.input stream reader, right? Still you can see I am getting a compilation error. Why so? Because I have initiate this input stream reader instance, but from where we have to take the input. So similarly, this scanner class, we have to take the input from system. So you have to make a system.int here. Okay, so if I make it here, so that's mean my input stream reader instance is ready. So this is our first step. Now what is our second step? Here you can check my input stream reader is ready. Now all the data that will be buffered first, right? And then using this buffer reader class, we have to collect the data from here. So that's mean now our second step to create an instance of buffer reader class which will take help from input stream reader, right? So in Eclipse, the second step, you have to create an instance of buffer reader class. So type buffer reader, then instance name, let's say br is equal to new buffer reader, then first bracket open and close, then semicolon. Now you can again see I am passing a compilations error, and if you click here, so you will get again a suggestions that import buffer reader. So once you double click here, so you can see a second import is automatically done by system here, that is basically java.io.bufferreader, because we already learned that buffer reader is basically part of java.io package, right? Now our buffer reader instance is created here, but still I am facing compilations error. Why? Because this buffer reader class take help from where? From input stream reader. So we have to put this instance under this bucket. So if I put it here, so you can see the compilations error gone. So what is our two different step? First step, we have to create an instance of input stream reader which will take input from system. So that's why we create a system.in here. Then we create an instance of buffer reader, and this buffer reader basically take help from input stream reader. That's why we make IR that instance the buffer reader under buffer reader input stream reader instance, we make it here. So these are the two simple steps which we have to perform before take input using the help of buffer reader class. Okay, now save this file by Control S. Then what is our aim? Now our aim, first we have to create a statement so that user can understand which type of things or which type of data he has to given there, right? So first we will create some system.out.println statement. So you can see here I have created four statements. First statement asking enter name, second enter age, third enter roll number, and fourth one asking some questions which expect some boolean value true and false. Okay, now definitely like scanner class we have to collect this value that will be entered by user in a variable, right? So first we have to create a string variable to collect the name, right? So create a string variable name is equal to name. Then how to collect the value? So first we have to use the instance name of the buffer reader, so that is basically br. So write here br dot, then you will get the options here. So use this read line options. Okay, so that mean br dot read line actually collect the value from input with the help of input stream reader instance. Okay, and that will be stored in name variable. But you can see here we will face a compile error. Why? So if you see here I am facing some compilations error, and if I hover here it says that unhandled exception type IO exception. IO means input output. So it says there are some unhandled exception type IO exceptions, and how to handle that one? So if you click here, so you can get suggestions add throw declarations. Now what is throw declarations, what is IO exceptions, what is exceptions, that we will learn later. For the time being just double click here. So once you double click here it will add a throw statement in your public static void main line. So let me click on this icon and then go to the suggestions and double click add throw declaration. So once I double click here, so you can see throws IO exceptions automatically come or added in this line. Okay, now coming to this line again, so you can see once user enter any name it will come under this br.read line, where br basically buffer reader which basically take input with the help of input stream reader, that is basically IR. IR is basically instance of input stream reader. So this way you can collect the input value which will come from keyboard, and that will be stored in a string variable. Now what is our next statement? Our next statement is enter an age, and it will be a float. So create a float variable. Let's say variable name is equal to age. Then similar way like this one br.readLine, we can collect the data here as well, right? Now here is a tricky part that you always have to remember, that whenever you are trying to use br.readLine, it is basically taking the value in a string format, but age is basically a float type, so definitely it will not accept this type of string value, right? So every time if it's not a string value like name, you have to pass that value with that proper type. If it's a float, you have to pass this string value to float. If it's a integer, then you have to pass that value in integer. If it's a boolean, then you have to pass that value in boolean. So let first create all these three statement. Let's say second statement is enter roll number. So roll number, definitely it will be a integer type. Let's say int, then roll is the variable name, then equal to again br.readLine. Okay, we are accepting the value that will be entered using keyboard. Similarly, if this questions entered in keyboard, we can accept that one using this BR_readLine. And what will be our data type here? Boolean. Let's say answer ans equal to again br.readLine. And what I told, that every br.readLine collect value in a string format, so we have to parse with proper type float, int or boolean. Now you can see I have collected all these value in different type of variable. One is float, another one is integer, and another one is boolean. But we have to casting this string value to float, int or boolean, right? So what is the way to casting that one? So for this float type, first you have to type here, after equal to type float, f always be in capital, float dot parse float. So you can see this is actually the statement, and under this parse float you have to collect this br.readLine. Okay, then put it here. Okay, so that's mean float age is equal to float dot parse float, and this is our br.readLine, which is basically collecting data from input, right? And then terminate this with semicolon. Okay, similar way, if our data type is int, then you have to create here integer, I always be in capital, integer dot then parse int, and here you have to put br.readLine, because this is the process to collect the data, and this is come as a string, so you have to take this under this parse int bracket, and this is string format, and we are trying to parse it in integer format, right? And it will hold under a integer variable. Similar way, boolean type of variable we have to create here or type here, boolean b always be in caps, then dot parse boolean. Okay, here again under this boolean parse boolean functions, you have to collect this br.readLine. Okay, now put it here. Now you can see I have collected the name, which is basically a string value. Okay, so there is no type of casting is required, because br.readLine itself take the value in a string format. Then if it's a enter age, so definitely it's a float type, so that's why br.readLine, this string format inputted value will need to be parsed in float type. Then if it's a integer type, we have to pass it integer type. So br.readLine here in this line parse as a int type. Then finally this is basically a boolean type, right? So we have casting all these things from integer to different respective type. Now simply make this file save using Ctrl S. Now what is our next step? Our next step to display all these entered value, right? So for that we have to create some statement like this. So first one is basically name, then age, then roll number, then the questions. Okay, now under this name statement, what we have to collect? The value that is stored in name variable, right? So here plus sign then name. Okay, the next one age. So age is basically collected under this variable, right? So here you have to type plus then age, right? Now next one is basically roll number. So roll number basically collected under this roll integer type variable. So plus space then roll. And third one is basically these questions, and that will be collected under this answer variable, right? ANS. So here just plus then the dynamic value using this variable name ANS. So if you check this total program, so first we create two different steps. Step 1 basically create an input stream reader instance. Second step create a buffer reader instance. Okay, and definitely for input stream reader and buffer reader we use system.in and then the input stream reader instance, and then we have created few statement to give an information to user that what is your name, what is your age, and everything is collected in different variable. And finally this variable value will be displayed in this format, right? Let's save this file using Control S. Now let me double click here so that I can get a console view in this format. Okay, now click on this run button. Now you can see the first statement execute here. Enter name. Let's say name is Varun. Then enter age, the second statement, let's say 6. Then enter again, it will execute the next statement. So enter. So you can see the next statement, enter roll number, it is coming here. So roll number, let's say 10. Then enter again to get the next statement is in class 1 questions. Okay, so enter here. So you can see I am getting the next statement is in class 1. So let me make it true. Now if I enter here, it will execute this type of statement, right? So let me enter here. So you can see the statement come as we written as a statement here. So name, the name basically entered as Barun. Age, as it's a float type, so it's coming as a 6.0. Then roll number we entered 10, so it's come as a 10. And the last questions we take as a input using boolean variable true or false, so it's come as a true value. So this way you can use buffer reader class, okay, to take the input from system. I believe this video has helped you to understand about the topic. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe, click on the bell notifications and select all so that you don't miss any video from this channel.